Our guest today is an actor, TV presenter, Strictly champion and loose man, just to name a few. Now he is taking on his biggest challenge yet. Please welcome Oti Oduba. I tell you what, Jeff Brazier's very jealous of those guns of yours. Talking about.
You can have him, Jeff. He's a beautiful man, isn't he?
Yeah, he is indeed.
It's great to be with you all.
Well, it's lovely to have you here. You know, Strictly, obviously.
It's the season.
It's been 10 years.
We're here.
It's been 9 years for us. And 10 years will be next year.
Yes.
So 10 years since the show changed everything.
Wow. It really did change everything. I mean, people say that kind of casually, you know, it had a big impact. For you, you kind of pivoted into another direction.
Well, what it did for me is it uncovered something that I always knew was there, but I'd totally forgotten. You know, I was a kid who found my biggest expression on stage. If I wasn't playing sport, I was on the stage. And that was the place where I felt most myself. It was the place I felt like I had a voice and a purpose and a reason. And then life got in the way, stopped that and said, do this. And then I remember, it was probably week 10 doing a Paso Doble play. I remember going, oh my goodness me, this is everything that I used to love.
Wow.
And so from that point, you know, and winning it was the change. If I hadn't won, I think I would have been too scared to do something as stupid as to go on stage and make that a career. But I went, I have to do something about this now. And
yeah, in some way, did that give you... I mean, you were obviously brilliant, but did winning almost give you validation, if you like?
Yeah. And it's sad, isn't it, that we kind of need those levels of achievement or that validation before we actually feel brave enough to make a course along a path that we think might be for us.
That's in you, that feels like it's your truth.
But it should be something that we instinctively decide. We should instinctively go, this is something that I know is going to make me feel good. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that change. And that might mean changing away from something that you always loved or you always knew, or certainly your family always understood of you. And that's really scary.
But I think it's because we're taught not to like go with that instinct because it's not a regular job and where's the regular money, and so it's quite difficult to keep pushing through when a lot of people tell you it's probably the worst choice. But now you've got a lead role in a great new show,
Young Frankenstein.
Are you going to come and watch it? I mean, it's in Manchester. Are you going to come and watch us?
It's a great show, Young Frankenstein, isn't it?
I went to watch this show in the West End with our friend Leslie Joseph, was playing Frau Blucher in 2018 at the Garrick Theatre, and I went as her guest, and I remember I got to the size of the Garrick Theatre, got to the aisles, and I sort of, you know, worked my way into the middle, and I went, oh, hello, Paul O'Grady. Oh, OK. And I didn't know Les was sat me next to the gorgeous man that is Paul O'Grady, and I spent the next 2 hours falling about laughing. But this show is just beyond hysterical. So it had Paul's seal of approval, and Leslie was the first person that I text saying, we're going to put on Young Frankenstein. It'd been on in Broadway, it went to the West End, so this is the first version of it since then in 2018 or 2019. It's so brilliant. The cast are phenomenal. What's some of the most talented people I've ever worked with. And Nick Winston, who's directing and choreographing it, is an absolute genius. Not a single minute is wasted. It's funny, it is hilarious, there's incredible dancing, the scene work is beautiful, and,
Well, thinking of dancing, you're tap dancing.
I'm tapping now, Rosie.
You were tapping for me in the dressing room. Come on, already.
I've always dreamt of being in a tap music. I mean, it's something... I remember 2 years ago going to an Open University adult tap class. Oh, really? Me and 10 other absolute melons in a room trying and failing. And so to be fast forward, now being taught by, like I said, amazing people like Nick, an incredible group, an ensemble of insane tappers, and I'm the person kind of leading it at the front. It's very surreal.
Well, as you say, you're in the lead role and it is a big role. I mean, how are you feeling? How are the nerves? Did you have any nerves?
I kind of didn't believe I was going to get this show. Really? Maybe that's an imposter syndrome thing. I've never felt more comfortable and prepared to lead a show than now.
How did you prep for it?
Well, that's taken 7 years of being on stage and building up every role. Every role I've ever had has always been, what can I do to develop and get better the next time? What more skills can I add to make sure that I'm going to be an even bigger asset? And by the time it came to this one, I mean, we're just over a week and a half's rehearsal. We've just completed 7 or 8 numbers that we've learned in just over a week. I've never done that before.
That's a lot.
And there was a point at the weekend where we're learning this tap routine. It's we're putting on the Ritz, which you'll know is an urban balloon. It's one of the most classic musical theatre numbers. and we're trying to learn this tap number. And guys, it was just a lot. It was a lot. And I could feel my heart changing. I could feel my breathing becoming irregular. My head started spinning, and I was having the beginning of an anxiety attack.
Wow.
And I hadn't had one for a while, but that's funny, because every time I come on Loose, I talk about having an anxiety attack.
Are we triggering you?
It's the auntie vibe.
Maybe it's the auntie.
Sisters.
But what was so lovely, there were two things that happened. One, I had been through it enough times to know what was happening in my body. That I was aware that I needed a minute, and I took a step back, and everybody was so kind. And then I came back in once I'd regulated myself and was able to start again. And later, I messaged the group just to say, I kind of apologise, but it was more just explaining what I was going through. And the amount of love that poured in from that group brought me so much, even more close to them. And it was the idea that I felt safe enough with those lot to share something that I was going through, to make them know that I was struggling, to let everybody else know, if you're struggling, this is a safe place to talk about, and everyone's going to help you along. It was beautiful. And I would recommend anybody doing the same thing.
But,
really would.
But we can't ignore the fact that you have had such a difficult year, clearly, with the loss of your sister. I mean, you know, where are you now with that, bowling into this big experience?
I had another cry about my sister this morning.
It's okay.
I know it is, and do you know what? So my sister has been with me every single day, and I remember before, earlier, soon after they passed, that friends who had lost family members said, "You just wait. You wait for their signs, and you won't believe what you're seeing." Pretty much every other day, my sister has been there, guiding me, leading me. I'm pretty sure my sister made me cut my finger while I was chopping a red pepper the other day.
That sibling thing never goes.
Every time I literally, do you know what, Nadia? I picked up my phone. I saw my sister there with my nieces and nephews at either side of them, and I went, "Where are you? Where are you, sis? I need you." And no joke of a lie, I was just cutting this pepper and I sliced it in half. And then there was something that happened. I was listening to something that really resonated with me, and it was just another thing that just connected me to him. And listen, I feel finally now able to live a version of my life that is going to take me through the rest of it, because I know that, sadly, my sister who took their life was unable to do it in their time. And it made me go, there is no way I'm going back when I know that there's only one way to go forward. And I've decided, and it was the thing that I was always the most terrified to do in my life, to run the London Marathon in honour of my sister.
Wow.
Oh, sweet.
They loved running. They struggled. Actually, they became obsessed with it and ended up getting themselves in quite a lot of chronic pain. And they did a lot for us as a family that made me go, you were so courageous, so brave, that I know that the one thing I thought I was incapable of doing, I have to take on. And in doing so, I haven't decided the charity, but they wanted it to be for black people, for queer people, and for women. And so I'm going to find whatever combination I can.
All together.
All of them together. Stood up.
Oh,
So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Listen, that's a beautiful tribute, and thanks for sharing with us, and I'm sorry to sort of...
No, I will speak about my sister until my dying day. I'm grateful to be in a place where I can share that. We've all lost, and sometimes it feels difficult to share that with other people because we think there's going to be too much, or we think that they won't understand. We've all lost. And actually to be in a place where you can feel like we're doing it together is really empowering.
It's also so nice to see you be you're amazing.
Well, Ori, listen, and a very, very best of luck. You're not going to need it, but Young Frankenstein at the Hope Mill Theatre in Manchester. It is, as you say, a fantastic production. You will be fantastic in it with all the cast. Ori Oduba, everyone.